Okay, this is it. Final day of reading Oedipus. So, in the last scene, Jocasta went into the palace and she says, "Oh, lost and damned, this is my last and only word to you forever." Um, because she knows the truth now. She knows that the prophecy has come true. And Oedipus is still in denial. Um, he is not aware that Jocasta tried to. Well, I guess she did tell him that, but he's not. He hasn't put two and two together, whereas Jocasta has. So, all right, Jocasta goes in, and the chorus says, "Why has the queen left us in such deep passion? I fear some vile catastrophe will out from what she dare not tell." The chorus, the elders are they're very wise. They can see what's going on. They always try to stay neutral. And Oedipus says, "Well, let it all come out, however vile, however base it be. I must unlock the secret of my birth. The women with more than women's pride, the woman with more than women's pride is ashamed by my low origin." That's why he thinks that she's freaking out. It's not why she's freaking out, but he's making assumptions here. He thinks it's because they've just discovered that he's not actually a prince. Um, because the messenger from before figured out that, hey, you're not actually the son of, Polybus and Merope. So he's like, "Oh, I don't know whose son I am then," but Jocasta knows because she's put all the clues together. Um, "I am the child of fortune, destiny, the giver of good, and I shall not be shamed. She is my mother. My sisters are the seasons." Okay, so that's interesting. When it says, "I am the child of fortune, she is my mother," he's saying fortune is my mother. This is dramatic irony. But we know who his real mother is. It's not Fortune, it's Jocasta, right? "My sisters are the seasons, my rising and my falling march with theirs. Born thus, I ask to be no other man than I am, and will know who I am. Like, I am who I am, and I don't want to be anyone else." You may change your mind on that, but okay. So then the chorus says, "If my prophetic eye fails not, tomorrow's moon makes us known to all the earth the secret of our master's birth. Cithron's name shall fill our song. His mother nurse was she, and for this boon to our great king praised shall Cithron be." They're excited about figuring out, what's going on with them. "Phoebus, our lord, be this according to thy will. Was this the offering born of some primeval sprite, by the love glance beguiled of mountain haunting Pan, or child of Loxias, a very son to our bright god who walks the high grasslands? Did he delight, Cylon's lord? Did Dionysus' hands receive him from a nymph he loved on Halcyon?" They're trying to figure out. They're just musing. They're just guessing. Like, oh, I wonder whose child he is. "Elders, I think I see our shepherd approaching. I guess it is he, though I never set eyes on him," which is funny because he has, right? He's the one that escaped, maybe, possibly. Um, "He and our Corinthian friend are of a like age, and those are my men that bring him. It must be he, but you could tell more surely if you know him." "Yes, it is he. I know him. Ways his shepherd, as good a man as any in his service." Yeah, this is the guy who escaped, and also he's the one that gave Oedipus to the other shepherd, who's also standing there. This is going to be really awkward. Is he still standing there, or did he leave? I don't even know. Exit. No, Jocasta exited. Messenger, I don't think he left. Yeah. So this is about to get super awkward. Um, "Now, good Corinthian, your your evidence first. Is this the man you spoke of?" So the messenger, oh, it's right there, says, "Yes, this is the man. Come now, old shepherd, please to look at me and answer my questions. Were you in Laius's service?" "Indeed, I was, sir, born and bred, not bought." What trade or occupation did you follow? The part of my life, the most part of my life, a shepherd, sir. Oh, what part of the country did you mostly work? Which would be Citheron or somewhere thereabouts. Okay, it's all adding up. Do you remember having seen this man before? What man, sir? Where would I have seen him? This man. Did you ever meet him anywhere? I cannot say I did, sir. I not to remember. I'm not surprised. I'll jog his memory. He won't forget the days when he and I were neighbors on Citheron, he with 2 flocks and I with one. 3 seasons we were there from spring to autumn, and I would drive my flock back to Corinth way for the winter, and he to Thebes to Lace's field. Was that the way it was? Aye, that's the way it was just many years ago. He's like, I remember you. Yeah, there were three seasons, and you know, we'd hang out and tend our flocks, and then we'd head back to our, uh, kingdoms. Well, then maybe you remember a baby boy that you gave me and asked me to rear it as my own. Shepard doesn't like that. He's like, why are we talking about this? I don't. That's something I don't like to talk about, right? Because he didn't do what he was told. He was commanded to kill the child, to leave it pinned to the ground, but instead he gave it away, which he disobeyed some orders, right? Um, what do you mean? Why are you asking me? What are you asking me to say? Why, my old friend, here stands that baby boy. Remember that boy that you're supposed to murder? He's right here. What do you think? This is bad for like 10 reasons, right? On the one hand, he didn't obey direction, so he was supposed to do something, he didn't do it. On the other hand, he almost murdered this kid, right? I mean, he actually pinned his feet down. That's why his feet were swollen. But then he couldn't go through with it, so he took it out. So either way, he does not want to be there right now. Damn you, hold your tongue. Oh, come, old fellow. He speaks more honestly than you, I think. Why, how have I offended, honorable master? Like, he's like, what did I do? What do you want from me? Uh, Not answering straightly his question about that child. That's how you're offending me. He doesn't know what he is saying. He's making a mistake. If you won't speak willingly, we must make you speak. Don't hurt an old man, sir, for the love of God. Pinion his arms. There. Oh, sir, what is this? What more do you want to know? Do you ask to know? This child he speaks of, was it you that gave it to him? Yes, it was. I wish I might have died that very day. I mean, he was put in a horrible position. Can you imagine someone gives you a child and says, hey, go murder this child? I mean, and you're a slave, so you have to obey. Like, that's a tough position, right? As you shall now, unless you tell the truth, which will be my death to tell it. Evasion still. You're still avoiding the question. Have I not said I gave it him? What more? Where did it come from? Your home or another's? Not mine, another man's. What man? What house? By all the gods, master, ask no more. Answer! If I must speak again, you die. So Oedipus is asking, where did you get me from? Because whatever house you got me from, those are my parents. It was a child of Laius's house. A slave or his own begetting? Must I tell? You must, and I must hear. It was Laius's child. It was his child. Laius and Jocasta are his parents. It was his child, they said. Your lady could tell the truth of it. She gave it to you? Yes, master. To what purpose? To be destroyed. The child she bore? Yes, master. They said it was on account of some wicked spell. What spell? Saying the child should kill his father. In God's name, what made you give it to this man? I hadn't the heart to destroy it, master. I thought he would take it away to another country, his home. He took it and saved its life to come to this. If you are that man, then your life is lost. Okay, so it's all in the light now. Alas, all out, all known, no more concealment. O light, may I never look on you again. revealed as I am, sinful in my begetting, sinful in marriage, sinful in shedding of blood. And then he runs into the palace. Now you might be thinking, okay, that's it, right? They just take him away, they're banished, the end. Nope. The messenger and the shepherd depart. It must be pretty awkward. They're both standing there. They're like, so you want to go get some lunch at In-N-Out Burger? It's like, yeah, they got animal style double doubles there. The chorus, okay, so the chorus is giving another, choral ode. All the generations of mortal man add up to nothing. Show me the man whose happiness was anything more than an illusion, followed by disillusion. Here's the instance. Here's Oedipus. Here's the reason why I will call no mortal creature happy. With what supreme sureness of aim he winged his quarry, grasped every prize by Zeus. Once he had drowned the she-devil, that's the Sphinx, the clawfoot lady. He was our bastion against disaster, our honored king. All Thebes was proud of his majesty, of the majesty of his name. And now, where is a more heartrending story of affliction? So, this is the theme of the story, right? It doesn't matter how powerful or rich you are. If you have hubris, if you try to outsmart the gods, it is not going to happen. And, you're going to have a downfall. And this wasn't just like, this was a lesson that the culture at the time wanted people to heed to. So, it's interesting from a cultural perspective. And now, where's more heartrending story of affliction? Where a more awful swerve into the arms of torment? Oh, Oedipus, that proud head, when the same bosom enfolded the son and the father, could not the engendering clay have shouted aloud its indignation? Time sees all, and now he has found you when you least expected it, has found you and judged that marriage mockery, bridegroom son. Yikes. This is your elegy. I wish I had never seen you, offspring of Laius. Yesterday my morning of light, now my endless darkness. Okay, so now we get the violence that happens. But remember, violence is all done off stage. So Oedipus has gone into the palace and horrible things have happened, but we're not going to see those horrible things. We're just going to hear about them from someone else. So a attendant comes running out of the palace and he's freaking out. And he says, oh, you must honorable lords of city of Thebes, weep for the things you shall hear, the things you must see. If you are true sons and loyal to the house of Labdacus, not all waters of Ister, the waters of Phasis, can wash this dwelling clean of the foulness within, clean of deliberate acts that soon shall be known, of all horrible acts, most horrible, willfully chosen. The chorus says, already we have wept enough for these things, for the things we have known, the things we have seen. What more will you add, will your story add? Okay, so here we go. Hold on to your hats. First and in brief, Her Majesty is dead. Okay, we all saw that coming. Jocasta is dead, right? And when somebody says, I will never speak to you again, that might be a clue, okay? The chorus says, alas, poor soul, what brought her to this end? Her own hand did it. You that have not seen and shall not see this worst shall suffer the less. But I that saw will remember and will tell what I remember of her last agony. Okay, so her hand did it. She killed herself, right? And again, it's probably something you saw coming because she just found out that her family name is completely ruined forever. And she says, I'm never going to speak to you again, goodbye. Okay, so here's what happened. You saw her cross the threshold in desperate passion. Straight to her bridal bed she hurried, fastening her fingers in her hair. There, in her chamber, the doors flung sharply to, she cried aloud to Laius, long since dead, remembering the son she bore, long since, the son by whom the sire was slain, the son to whom the mother bore yet other children, fruit of luckless begetting. There she bewailed the twice confounded issue of her wifehood, husband begotten husband, child of child. So much we heard, her death was hidden from us. Before we could see out her tragedy, the king broke in with piercing cries. Okay, so she locked herself in a room, and all the attendants were waiting, for her to open the door. It doesn't say they were trying to get in, but they can hear her wailing and screaming and talking about her son and her husband and how it's all mixed together and how awful it all is. And as they're sitting there just listening to all this, all of a sudden Laius breaks and with piercing cries, and all had eyes for him. This way and that he strode among us. A sword, he cried. Where is that wife, no wife of mine, that soil where I was sown and whence I reap my harvest? While thus he raved, some demon guided him, for none of us dare speak to where she was. So the question is, of course, why is he asking for a sword? Is he going to kill her? Is he going to kill himself? What's going on, or both? But either way, it doesn't matter because she already took care of it, right? She already did it. As if in answer to some leader's call, with wild hallooing cries, he hurled himself upon the locked doors, bending by main force the bolts of their sockets and stumbled in. We saw a knotted pendulum, a noose, a strangled woman swinging before our eyes. So she hanged herself. The king saw too, and with heartrending groans untied the rope and laid her on the ground. But worse was yet to see. Her dress was pinned with golden brooches. So, the giant pins that kind of hold the dress together, if that makes any sense. The king snatched out and thrust from full arm's length into his eyes that should no longer see no longer his shame, his guilt, no longer see those they should never have seen, nor see unseen those he had longed to see. Henceforth, seeing nothing but night, to this wild tune he pierced his eyeballs time and time again, till bloody tears ran down his beard, not drops, but in full spate, the whole cascade of descending and drenching cataracts of scarlet rain. Probably should have warned you this gets a little bloody. So he takes a pin, and these are big, right? And it says at full length, so he's like, and he's such in a crazy frenzy that he just gouges his eyes out, and blood is just dripping everywhere and down his beard and everything, in scarlet rain. And of course, the question is, why would he do this? So Tiresias is the one that's blind but can see the truth. He wishes he can never see the truth. So metaphorically, he wants to be blinded to the truth. So he literally gouges out his eyes. So he no longer has to bear the pain of seeing the truth, even though he knows the truth. So technically, it doesn't really work. It's kind of more metaphorical. But now he's literally the one that can't see. He wants to be in the darkness, right? He wished he could be in the darkness, for his memories, but that's impossible. Two have sinned, and on two heads, not one, on man and wife falls mingled punishment. Their old, long happiness of former times. Excuse me. Was happiness earned with justice, but today calamity, death, ruin, tears, and shame, all ills that there are names for, all are here. And the chorus says, and he, how is he now? Does he still suffer? Is he still in pain? He shouts for someone to unbar the doors and show all Thebes the father's murderer. The mother's shame forbids the holy word. Incontinently, he will fly the country to rid his house of the curse of his own lips, but scarcely has the strength, poor sufferer, and none to guide him. He cannot bear the pain, as you shall see. The doors are opening. Yes, you shall see a sorry spectacle that loathing cannot choose but pity. So he's going to come out with just, blood dripping down, and someone has to help him out because he can't see because he's totally blind, and this whole, toga or whatever he's wearing is completely, stained in blood and all this kind of stuff. And they did say that he's going to flee the country. right? He says going to fly the country. So, part of being a tragic hero is you take your downfall with dignity. And this doesn't sound very dignified to gouge your eyes out, but it is dignified to not fight it, to agree, you know what, I'm wrong. I deserve punishment. I deserve to be miserable. That's why I gouge his eyes out. And I deserve to be alone. And I will take all my punishment as I should. I will leave the country. I'm not going to try to, fight it now. Now that I know the truth. When he didn't know the truth, he was trying to fight it, which is part of his flaw, right? Okay. So Oedipus comes out and he's blind. And the chorus is just, horror beyond all bearing, foulest disfigurement that I ever saw. Oh, cruel, insensate, sensate agony. What demon of destiny, with swift assault outstriding, has ridden you down? Oh, tortured head, I dare not see. I am hiding my eyes. I cannot bear what most I long to see, and what I long to hear, that most I dread. Oh, and Oedipus, my eyes cannot bear to see Oedipus like this. And Oedipus says, oh, agony, where am I? He can't see anymore. Is this my voice that is born on the air? What fate has come to me? And the chorus says, unspeakable to mortal ear, too terrible for eyes to see. And Oedipus says, oh, dark, intolerable, inescapable night that has no day, cloud that no air can take away. Oh, and again, that piercing pain, torture in the flesh and in the soul's dark memory. So he's in pain physically, but he's also in pain because of what he remembers about, what happened. The chorus says, it must be so. Such suffering must needs be borne twice, once in the body and once in the soul. Is that my true and ever faithful friend still at my side? So the chorus says, all true pain is not just physical, but also mental. Your hand shall be the blind man's guide. Are you still near? That voice I hear is yours, although your face I cannot see. So he's talking to the chorus. Those eyes, how could you do what you have done? What evil power has driven you to this end? Why did you gouge your eyes out? Apollo, friends, Apollo has laid this agony upon me. Not by his hand, I did it. So he's saying Apollo didn't actually do it, but he encouraged me, or and so that's what he did. What should I do with eyes where all is ugliness? It cannot be denied. Where's any beauty for me to see? Where loveliness or of sight or sound? Away, lead me quickly away out of this land. I am lost, hated of gods, no man so damned. So it's like there's no beauty left to see. And if I can't see anything beautiful, there's nothing left, and I just don't want to see it all. Twice tormented in the spirit as in the flesh, would you have ever lived to read this riddle? Cursed be the benefactor that loosed my feet and gave me life for death, a poor exchange. Death would have been a boon to me and all of mine. We could have wished it so. So everybody's agreeing that death would have been better than this. It's an interesting theme. Now the shedder of father's blood, husband of mother, is my name. And remember, names are very important. Everybody knows the name of Oedipus. That's what it means now, right? Goddess and child of shame, begetter of brothers' sons, what infamy remains that is not spoken of Oedipus? Yet, to my thinking, this act was ill-advised. Like, yeah, but you still shouldn't have gouged your eyes out. Like, that's just a bad idea. It would have been better to die than live in blindness. I will not believe that this was not the best that could have been done. Teach me no other lesson. How could I meet my father beyond the grave with seeing eyes, or my unhappy mother, against whom I have committed such a heinous sin as no more death could pay for? Okay, so, they believed in like Elysium, and that you meet, all the people, kind of hell. Yeah, hell and heaven were kind of different back then, like what they believed anyway. there's like 5 different parts to hell and blah blah blah, all this kind of stuff. But he's basically, the idea was that he was going to be able to meet his actual father and mother. Well, Jocasta here, he knows. And he doesn't, if you blind yourself in real life, then you're going to be blind in death too. And so he doesn't want to have to see him. He doesn't want to have to face them, like face to face, literally. Like he might literally be face to face, but he won't be able to see them, right? Can I still love to look at my children, begotten as they were begotten? Could I want eyes to see that pretty sight, to see the towers of Thebes, her holy images, which I, her noblest, most unhappy son, have forbidden myself to see, having commanded all men to cast away the offense, the unclean, the offense, whom the gods have declared accursed, the son of Laius, and having proved myself that branded man, could I want sight to face this people stare? So on the one hand, he is kind of running from his problems a little bit, but I don't know if it's actually worse. I mean, he's never going to see again. He's in constant pain and agony. So, argue as best you can. This is the dignified kind of end. No, hearing neither, had I any way to damn that channel too, I would not rest. I mean, you could gouge your ears out. I would not rest till I had prisoned up this body of shame and total blankness. For the mind to dwell beyond the reach of pain were peace indeed. Cithaeron, you foster mother, did you shelter me for this? Could you not let me die the instant, instead of saving me to tell the world how I was got? Corinth and Polybus, my seeming home and parent, did you think what foul corruption festered under the bloom of your adopted son's young loveliness, now found all evil and evil born, that silent crossroad in the forest clearing, that copse, which is corpse, beside the place where the 3 roads meet, whose soil I watered with my father's blood, I can talk, my blood, right? Because they're related. Will they remember what they saw and what I came that way to Thebes to do? Incestuous sin, breeding where I was bred, father, brother, and son, bride, wife, and mother, confounded in one monstrous matrimony, because he's all 3, right? All human filthiness in one crime compounded, unspeakable acts, I speak no more of them. Hide me away at once, for God's love, hide me away. Kill me, drown me in the depths of the sea, take me. And he's like reaching out, he's like, take me. And the chorus is shrinking away from his groping hands. For pity, touch me and take me away, touch me and have no fear. No man else but on me alone is the scourge of my punishment. And then the chorus says, Creon comes. On him will now depend in acting counsel the answer to your desires. He stands our sole protector in your stead. Which is interesting because he said he had no interest in being the king, but now he's the king, like he has to be, right? Because there's no other family line that could be the king. And Oedipus says, what can I say to him? Like, again, this is very awkward. He was just yelling at the guy earlier. Sorry. I should get some sleep. What plea of mine can now have any justice in his eyes, whom I, as now seen, have wronged so utterly? So he's admitting, like, I was completely wrong to yell at him. Creon enters and says, Oedipus, I am not here to scoff at your fall, nor yet to reproach you for your past misdeeds. My friends, remember your respect for the Lord of life, the Son above us. If not for the children of men, the unclean must not remain in the eye of the day, nor earth, nor air, nor water may receive it. Take him within. Piety at least demands that none but kinsmen should hear and see such suffering. Oedipus says, I only ask one thing, my gentle friend, whose gentleness to such a one as I am was more than could be hoped for. Only one thing, for God's love, for your good, not mine. Well, what thing? So humbly begged. Cast me away this instant, out of this land, out of the sight of man. Be sure it would have been done without delay, but I await instruction from the God. Which one? Is not his instruction already plain? The parasite, the unclean one, was to die, and here he stands. Yet it was so. Yet in the present turn of events, we need more certain guidance. For my lost life, will you ask the God's direction for one so damned? Have you not found good cause to trust him? Can you not trust the gods? When the gods say something, is it not true? Is it not true? Right? Everything the gods have said have been true. And so that's the lesson of the play. Yes. Then I think I only have this to ask. Of your goodness, the funeral rites of her that lies within, Jocasta, provide as you think fit. She is your sister, and you will do rightly by her. As for me, no longer let my living presence curse this fatherland of mine. But let me go and live upon the mountains and die there. Cithaeron, name for ever linked with mine. On Mount Cithaeron, which my parents chose to be my deathbed, I will go and die, obedient to their desires. And yet I know not age nor sickness nor any common accident can end my life. I was not snatched from death that once, unless to be preserved. Like, I can't just go kill myself because the gods obviously want me to live. Otherwise, they would have killed me already, right? Which my parents chose and would die. I was not set for those. That once unless to be preserved for some more awful destiny. Be it so. And the children, don't trouble yourself about the boys, Creon. They will be able to fend for themselves wherever they go. But the girls, poor little mites, did he just call them bugs? Have never known a meal without their father. Everything was shared between us. Take care of them, Creon. Creon, if I could touch them once and weep once more, if you would permit it, gracious and generous, just touch them once and could think I had them once more before my eyes. This is a little terrifying. Can you imagine your dad with his eyes gouged out, all bloodied up, and he's like groping out for you, give me a hug? Yeah, nightmares. But here they come. Ismene, Antigone, that's the second book, have already been led in and stand before Oedipus. What? Do I hear my darlings sobbing? Has Creon had pity and sent them to me? My darlings, are they here? They are here. I had brought them to you. I knew how much you love them, how much you love them still. Heaven bless you, Creon, for this, and make your way smoother than mine has been. Where are you, children? Come, feel your brother's hands. Uh, I can't. I just can't. Because technically, there's brothers too. I mean, sort of, because the mom gave birth to them, and she also gave birth to him. So anyone that the mother gives birth to is at least half brothers. So they're brother daughters. So they're brothers. Yeah. Nope, can't do it. Where was I? Heaven bless you. Come feel your brother's hand. It was their work that darkened these clear eyes, your father's eyes, as once you knew them, though he never saw nor knew what he did when he became your father. Like, I didn't know that that's what I was doing. They cannot see you, but they weep with you. I think of your sorrowful life in the days to come, when you must face the world, the holy days, high days, and days of state, joyless for you, returning sadly home while others play. And when you look for marriage, will there be men? Will there be one man brave enough to outface the scandal that will cling to all my children and children's children. So again, if your name is ruined, if everyone remembers you for this one scandal, that's it for your family. Like they're done for generations, right? So, nowadays, does anyone remember the name Kramer if I did something? I don't know, um, maybe for a little while, but like it just, uh, it's not the same, right? Uh, Is there a name of ill that is not ours? A father that killed his father, despoiled his birthbed, begetting where he begot. Thus they will brand you. They're going to make fun of you a lot. I don't know why he's saying this to his little girls right now. Like, why do you need to traumatize them like that? Where will you find husbands? Because remember, that was the most important thing back then. Like, if you didn't have a husband, then you were done, right? There will be none, my children, for you. Wow. Take it easy, man. Your days can only end in fruitless maidenhood, which you're going to die a virgin, right? Meneceus' son, you are their kinsman still. You are their only father. We are no more. Who gave them life? These lost waifs must not wander, homeless and husbandless. They must not see such days as I see. Take care of them, so young, so poor, so lost to all but you. Will you do it? Your hand to pledge your promise. Creon gives him his hand. Friend! Children, there is much that you will understand when you're older. I hope they never understand. You cannot bear it now, but in your prayers, ask this, that you may live not more nor less than well, and so live better than your father did. This is enough. Will you go in? I must, against my will. There is a measure in all things. I have your promise then. What promise? To send me away. God will decide, not I. No God will speak for me. Then you will have your wish. In your consent, I do not speak beyond my knowledge. Take me. Go then. Oedipus moves towards the palace, his arms still round the children. But leave the children. No! Never take them from me! Command no more. Obey. Your rule is ended. Oedipus is led away. And then the chorus ends with this. This is the Exodus. Sons and daughters of Thebes, behold, this was Oedipus, greatest of men. He held the key to the deepest mysteries, was envied by all his fellow men for his great prosperity. Behold, what a full tide of misfortune swept over his head. Then learn what mortal man must always look to his ending, that mortal man. And none can be called happy until the day when he carries his happiness down to the grave in peace. Like you never know at any time in your life, horrible things can happen. So just don't ever be satisfied and think that everything's great. But what is great is that we're done with the play. I mean, I like the play. It's a little rough. But Greek tragedy. Anytime somebody mentions Greek tragedy to you, like, oh, that movie was like a Greek tragedy, now you have an idea of what in the world they're talking about. Like just the worst, most horrible thing. The guy gouged his eyes out after killing his dad and sleeping with his mom. Like that is just horrifying. So probably a short quiz or something. I don't know. I'll come up with something. Send out a message to everybody, an announcement, let you know what's going on, and then we're back to research paper, which will be very easy, quick, easy, done, and then it's Odyssey in summertime. Cool.